Hey guys, Parfax here, and today we're going to talk a little New World. All right, let's get started. All right, so today's going to be an interesting video. We do these every great now and again, and we're going to be talking about the life of New World. Is New World dying? If it is, what is causing that? And what are my thoughts in the game right now? Now, first, I want to say that I absolutely love New World as a whole. I've loved this game since I played it right around the beta time. Honestly, in pre-alpha, I've said this many times, but I didn't like the game at all. I didn't think there were some parts of the game I loved. Like I love the survival aspect of it when it was originally there, but the combat and stuff like that has come a long way. Having said that, it seems that this time of year is just the time of year that New World just doesn't do a whole lot. Now, we're going to talk a lot about that. And to do that, we're actually going to bring up a couple posts on the forums and their recent patch. All right, so this is the patch that went live today. It is Leaderboards. Now, Leaderboards, I've always said, really don't bring any content. It really doesn't bring any content to the game. It's kind of just something for the sweatiest of the sweats at whatever they're doing to kind of keep track of everything that's going on. So, do I think leaderboards are good for the game? Yes. Leaderboards were supposed to be here months ago. Leaderboards aren't content. New World hasn't had any actual content since Brimstone, which I believe was October, and we're going on now going to be 5 months of no content, and that is a major problem. Not only is it a major problem, they're tweaking some stuff that's just really upsetting the player base. So, of course, we have leaderboards. These are very exploitable for the most part. The cosmetics they have are your typical AGS cosmetics where they don't really look very good. We'll actually just go here and we can see them. Let's go to modes, leaderboards, and we'll go player versus environment. Actually, we'll go player versus player because I think the score gets the rewards. Okay, wins. They swapped it to wins instead of score, which is good. But you have these skins, which are very meh. And honestly, all the skins, you only get like one spot where you can get skins. There you go. So score for invasions. They're all basically the same with a little bit of color distinguishing features on each one. Honestly, they're very, I don't know. They don't look the greatest to me. They're just kind of a typical AGS one. Now, I like that they're giving out skins. I wish they'd actually be very cool. I know they want to try to put the cool things in the shop, but you do have to give players something cool in the game to kind of really go for. And this could have been something, but honestly, there's such a tiny amount of players that'll actually get these. Now, because we have a bunch of servers and not just one overall server, like a lot of MMOs, more people will get the skin. So it's not going to be like super exclusive, but still going to be a very exclusive skin that honestly doesn't look very good, but you know, it is a free skin. So there's that. Now, to go back to the recent patch, honestly, leaderboards aren't the reason why I'm even talking about this patch. It's really down here when it comes to economy progression. Now, I am all good for them to touch the economy, but here we have removed a total of 28 sarcophagus and large chests throughout Brimstone Stand to address the global economy concerns. They list the locations. My biggest problem here isn't even that they are lowering the money per hour that you can make. My problem here is Brimstone, their last big zone. Brimstone is massive. But why would you go to Brimstone? They didn't put anything in the zone to really make you go there other than doing these chest runs. So if I can go do something else and get just as much money, why would I go there? Now you can say, well, why would you go anywhere? And we know that if you farm specific things, there's things that do give a lot more coin per hour because they can't control exactly how much we pay for something. You can go do rawhide farms that are really good. And, you know, you can go do wire weave farms. You can try to do Tolvium and Cinnabar where, you know, getting Orichalcum, but bots are pretty much got that on lock. So it's interesting that they're nerfing stuff. So they're okay. They have good time to spend on, you know, making sure people don't go to their newest zone, but we haven't got an actual patch in 4 months. So this is a very odd change. They're just really, the player base is like, oh, you've basically been on vacation since Brimstone, and now we're going to nerf the thing that a lot of people were doing. So it's a very odd change. I don't like it, especially this time. I think if they would have just waited and they could have done it then. But also, if they're really worried about the economy, there is a bunch of other ways they can actually fix this. I mean, territory control is still insane. The amount of money a territory produces every week is crazy. Housing system, it just is a money generator. If you're really looking at, wanting to nerf money, you probably should nerf some of the rewards that the towns get for, having houses. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a change a while back that lowered the taxes for our housing, which was a great, but they didn't lower the amount of money the territories got. So there's a multiplier. So every time you pay your taxes, it multiplies it, I think, by 5 and gives it to the company or whoever. Well, now it's the overall pool, but it's a huge chunk of the actual overall like income for the game that comes in, at least for that perspective. So it's like just a force multiplier. Why not cut some of that down? So it's a very odd change when they're going for economy, but this is just another thing that's going to take off the players. And then we've been hearing about this PvP balance patch, right? It's going to come on the PTR. It was coming very soon, 4 or 5 weeks ago when they put out the post. So then we have an update on it. So this is a patch. When is balance patch? And there's a lot of things that just, talking about asking when's the balance patch. And this was yesterday. And we have a response. There's quite a bit of combat balance incoming. As it's more of an overhaul than just some number changes, we're planning to get it onto the PTR by the end of the month, pending any further adjustments. This, again, what we can only assume, means we're not going to get another update all in February. We're going to go all of February. We're going to go January, December, November without an update. Leaderboards is not content. And PTR, an complete balance change, is not an update either. So we're possibly going to get it sometime in April, barring some changes. And then even if we get it in April, it's still not content. Now, if the overhaul consists of, complete rework to OPR, to the way wars go, the way you push territory, PvP and PvE just feels overall completely different, then maybe we can talk. It's not really content. ESO did this, but it's something that'll be make the game a little bit fresh to give you a month or so to get out content. We haven't heard anything about content coming out. We know New Dungeon. New Dungeon is not content. It's not sustainable content, right? Like in New World especially, they don't bring anything new with dungeons or expeditions. We don't get new gear. We just get gear that you can roll. Now, there's a few times where unrollable gear has came on there, which I think is actually good. I think they need to go more towards that. Now, I'm not trying to devalue crafting, or maybe have some type of like crafting mod that's maybe bind on pickup that you can get there to help you craft better pieces of gear. And I would be completely fine with that. But just putting generic pieces of gear in expeditions, honestly, is just bad because people run it once or twice. That's cool. I'd like to see the numbers on how much Ennead is ran, because I can guarantee you it's very little. The dungeon or the expedition itself is really cool looking. I love the way Ennead looks, but there's no reason to run it. So I think it's odd that they're waiting this long. It has to be massive, because the next thing we're going to talk about is the player population. Now, you can see here, played about an hour ago, 19.4, 24-hour peak, 27,000. Now, that's not as bad as the game has gotten down to. The game has gotten down to about a peak of 13,000, so we're still far away from that. But you can see here the trend. We have October, November. November was the new not new player experience, but the fresh start servers. That's the reason why it went up there. And then we have minus 38, 31, 13. This is very eerily similar if we go back last year, and you can see now theirs was a little bit stagnant right here. It was still going down at this time, but you can see these numbers just dropping. And that's what's happening here. And then we had April with a small uptick for I believe this was because of the event with the rabbits. And then it was all the way until August before the numbers started to go up. You can see here we had peaks or average players here of 13,000 in June and July. Now we're still at an average of 24. So like I said, we're not nearly there, but we are again on that downtrend. Now, of course, it is always going to be a downtrend. You have big content update. We have fresh start servers. And then after that, it is always going to go down unless you have big updates all the time, which is just not sustainable, especially in the business model that New World has taken. You know, it's going to go down. But the problem is we don't want to see like this 38%. That's going to be kind of normal, right? The first month after big content, people are going to come in, play it for a couple weeks, and leave. Every game has this. Path to Exile, one of the most successful like free-to-play games out there. It does the exact same thing. 2 weeks after a new league, they drop huge percentage. And then we have another 31, but you don't want to continuously see these big numbers. You want to see smaller numbers. And a lot of this is just the way AGS has handled things. As the player base seems that they have just checked out. They don't really care about their game. Now, I'm sure that's not the case. I'm sure they've been working very hard, but their optics are bad. I don't know who is, in charge of, the optics of the game, but putting out these Forged Eternum, honestly, is just ticking more people off than it's making people happy. Every now and again, we'll get a Forged Eternum that's really good, but when we watch it, it just seems that they don't actually know their game. And I know that's kind of the normal thing you talk about when it comes to video games, but it really just seems that AGS doesn't have a pulse on their player base, and it's really taking its toll on its numbers. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. I know this is kind of an interesting video here. We don't do this too often, and I know it's just going to be a nice little rant video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will be having a couple videos out about a different game, which you guys are probably already playing here this week, and some New World stuff as well. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, like always, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.